So we've all done it, we've gone out and grabbed a camera and the settings haven't been right. And in my case, it was the steady shot on the Sony ZV-1. I came back, reviewed the footage, it was really shaky and I chalked it up to inexperience and thought, okay, always keep the steady shot on. But I discovered a piece of software that saved my bacon and my shots. Okay, so here we are, I'm on a PC. It's a free bit of software from Sony. It's called Catalyst Browse. And I've got my memory card from the Sony ZV-1 plugged into my card reader. And if we scroll down here, what it does is it gives you a list of all the clips on the card and it really just represents that graphically. And it allows you to copy and move media around to sort of favorite folders. And I'm gonna use it, I am gonna use it. It's an interesting bit of software. But the reason I found it is because what the Sony ZV-1 does, along with some of the other Sony cameras in that family, is it's got like a gyro on board and it saves that gyroscopic data to a file which this software can read and then stabilize your footage after the event, because it's actually using the gyroscopic data from the movement of that particular shot. So let's have a look. We've got these clips here, and if I go up to the first one, which is the first one that I watched and went, oh. Now it's got several modes here, and if we have a look on the screen, you can see that it's got all, you know, it's got the clip details and the codecs. It's got loads of good stuff, right? It's even got the shutter speed and it's got everything. It's really useful. We're currently in browse mode. If I go into view mode, it brings up a bigger monitor that you can see the footage. And if I just press play, yeah, really quite shaky. Really not good at all. So I did a quick Google and I found this bit of software. It's really simple to sort this out. So it's quite shaky, it sort of evens up there. Let's just go through, let's find a really shaky one. Oh, yeah, I think we found it. So, yeah, that's a good example. I'm sort of leaning against a fence here. Yeah, without stabilization, there's no way I would ever show that to anybody. So let's go, you can either go to Tools and then go to Stabilize Clip, or just click Stabilize. Now what this does is it brings up a before and after. And if I click play, here's a before and after. It's quite astounding. It is quite astounding. But as you can see, the crop is absolutely phenomenal. Currently, this is set to auto mode. If we go to manual mode, you can see it has had to crop in 71%. That means I'm losing 30% of the image basically. So if I set that to around about 80, let's go to 85, because what it seems to be doing is if it's really wobbly at the beginning of the shot, it will set that as the upper limit and then basically just stabilize the whole clip to enable the entirety of the clip to be steady. But I know that normally when I press the button, I normally then sort of focus and then it settles. So I'm not looking to stabilize the first sort of like 2 or 3 seconds, because I know that's me sort of finding my shot. So I think 88%, I would come in there and that is perfectly usable. Solved, sorted. So to then export your newly stabilized footage, all you do is you click export, you click browse, and you save it where you want to save it. And you've got options to do multiple things to the codec. You can change the color space, you can change the actual file format, but I'm just leaving it as same as source throughout the whole thing. You can rename the files, put prefix and suffix. So if I put a prefix and just put steady, then whenever I see that, I know that that clip has been steadificated using Catalyst Browse. So let's click export. This isn't a hugely long clip, but roughly it takes about double the length of the clip. When I was doing this the first time, I sort of just sat here and watched, but actually what you can do is you can quit out of this, go OK, and then do the next one, and the one that you're rendering will be rendering in the background. So let's find another really wobbly shot. This one's zoomed in, so let's have a look at this. That is, I would never use that. I would never ever use that. If I got that in my edit suite shot by somebody else, I'd be like, what are you doing? Why don't you use a tripod? Let's just click that. Let's look at what it's trying to do. And it's trying to do 88%, which is actually quite reasonable. So let's compare the before and after. And I think you'll agree that maybe actually, and we can do this on the fly, we can actually take that up to about 78%. So let's just stabilize it a little bit more. I mean, it's not steady, but it's better. So what I've done is I've imported both the original rushes and the shots that I have steadied. Unfortunately, the one thing that I've noticed that would be a nice addition to this incredibly free bit of software is the ability to batch steady, because I found sort of 90% was a sweet spot. So you can see here that this shot is really quite rough at the beginning. The bridge starts to go up and I get a bit of a wobble on. So I've dropped a split screen on here so we can see what's going on, and yeah, you can see that the bottom half is definitely better. So here's a little sequence from my new steadied clips that I got when I went to Gloucester. So there you go, there are my thoughts on Sony Catalyst Browse. Well, not really my thoughts, because I actually found it because I had a problem with the footage because I'd made a massive mistake, but it did actually sort it out for me, so I'm happy with that. And what really interests me is the idea that if that footage had been shot on the Sony ZV-1, but the Sony ZV-1 was on a gimbal, that footage could even be tweaked even more subtly and get absolutely great results. The fact that the Sony ZV-1 has got that capability and it records the gyro and the accelerometer, and then you can apply that stabilization information during the edit is really quite exciting. Okay, so you've been great. I've been Andy. Thanks for watching.